In January 2023, the leg of a man that was inside a sack was found on the banks of the Fasham River. Investigations revealed that the leg belonged to a man approximately 40 to 45 years old who had been dead for 2 or 3 days. While the investigations were ongoing, the next day, on Saturday morning, a human hand was also found inside another sack under a tree near Fasham, which seemed to belong to the same person as the leg. Hello friends, welcome to the Bitato Tube channel. You are watching and listening to a new criminal case from our series of videos. The case of a ruthless killer who dismembered the victim's body and scattered each piece in different parts of the city. If you are interested in this type of content, we would be delighted. Subscribe to the channel. Also hit the bell icon next to it so you don't miss new videos. It was the morning of Friday, the first of day 1402, when a large and lively family decided to go on a picnic because the weather was sunny and they could go out of the city. They chose the Fasham River together. They also prepared a volleyball, a mat, and a barbecue setup so the kids could play and the adults could relax by the river. The weak sunlight and the sound of the water were perfect for a fun picnic, but finding one thing ruined everything. While playing, the kids found a severed human leg by the river. You didn't hear wrong at all. Imagine a family that went to the Fasham River on the first of day of Friday to have a picnic by the river on their day off. While playing, they find a human leg that had been severed inside a sack under a tree, and they inform the police. That large family had their day off ruined, but they uncovered the secret of a horrific crime. Following the call to police 110 and the confirmation of the discovery of a man's leg by the Fasham River, the Special Criminal Police also arrived at the scene, and subsequently forensic officers arrived as well. They took the leg found in the sack to the forensic department for further investigation. The next day, before the results of the forensic tests arrived, another piece of the corpse was found in the same area. This time it was a hand, found in a sack similar to the first one, a short distance away. It was found kilometers away from the place where the foot was discovered. A second piece was found by a municipal street cleaner who informed the police. The second piece of the body was also transferred to the forensic department, and the forensic test results showed that both pieces, the hand and the lower leg, belonged to the same person who had been dead for 45 hours. With DNA tests from the dismembered body and the fingerprint found on the hand, the identity of the dismembered individual was also identified. Kazem, 45 years old, resident of Rudehen. With the identity being determined, the police naturally went to his family, and it turned out that even though Kazem had been missing for a few days, they hadn't even contacted the police. Kazem was married. He had 2 children and lived with his family in a rented house in Rudehen. He also had an addiction. He didn't have a specific job either. His wife said he did all sorts of work, from laboring to buying and selling, and recently he had gotten the idea to find a treasure, which might have been what got him into trouble. The police interrogated each member of Kazem's family to possibly find a clue, but there was nothing significant. Kazem neither had any financial dealings with anyone, nor did he have any personal enmity, nor even a secret relationship. Therefore, there was no potential suspect who could have brought this terrible misfortune upon Kazem. The only clue obtained during the interrogations was that Kazem and his wife had serious disagreements, and their arguments and fights were a daily occurrence. Kazem was addicted and didn't have a stable job, whereas his wife was an athlete. She had been mountain climbing for years. For a few years, she had also been pursuing bodybuilding professionally and had recently started working at a gym near their home. The police pursued this clue and followed up on it. The more they progressed and inquired about Kazem's wife, they reached more interesting results, Kanet, and her contradictory statements became more apparent. The first time the police visited her home and asked about Kazem, she claimed that her husband was hospitalized. But when she realized the matter was serious and the police had come to find Kazem, she claimed her husband was involved in the buying and selling of antiques. Now, for a few days, he has been away for excavation to find coins, gold, and so on. Digging up hidden treasures, he traveled to the county and didn't take his mobile with him. The baseless words of Kazem's 38-year-old wife made the case investigator even more suspicious. And this time, instead of continuing the interrogations, he ordered a more thorough investigation into the woman and full monitoring of her mobile phone. Although the examination of Kazem's wife's calls and messages showed that she had no hidden or suspicious relationships, a very important clue was obtained by the police. Her mobile phone had a signal exactly in the locations where Kazem's body parts were found. This clue led the investigation to once again focus on Kazem's wife. In reviewing the traffic cameras near the locations where Kazem's hands and feet were found, Kazem's pride car was seen, while his wife was sitting behind the wheel. With these two pieces of evidence, and of course the testimony of the couple's children and their neighbors, who reported hearing a loud argument between the two the night before Kazem disappeared, Kazem's wife was now placed in the interrogation chair as a murder suspect. When she saw all the evidence and testimonies against her, she had no choice this time and confessed to the truth. The woman, saying that she couldn't bear it any longer and that he had driven her to the edge, confessed to the horrific murder of her husband on the night of December 19th, 2023. Kazem's wife describes the details of that terrifying night as follows. From the beginning, I had no interest in Kazem and was forced by my family to sit at the wedding table. That scoundrel always beat me, and his bad temper never ended. Lately, his addiction had also increased, and he spent everything he earned on his habit. When he was craving, he would attack me and the kids and beat us. I tried to get a divorce several times, but he was not willing to separate. On the night of the incident, he was craving again and started to harass us, and we got into a fight. He tried to hit me, but this time I stood up to him, and in the middle of the fight, I didn't realize what happened when I strangled him with my coat belt. He was an addict and weak, and I was an athlete, so he couldn't resist. That night, I stayed in the next room with his body until morning so the kids wouldn't find out. And the next day, after they went to school, I dismembered the body and put each part in a separate sack. Then I got into his car and headed towards Fasham. Each sack was also, I threw them somewhere. With the explicit and horrifying confessions of this woman, the police officers head to the locations where the woman said she disposed of the body parts. They also find 2 more bags containing parts of Kazem's body. But ultimately, 1 leg and 1 hand of Kazem were not found. Considering that this crime happened recently and the murderer confessed to her crime only a few days ago, the case has not yet reached the court stage. However, considering the initial statements of Kazem's parents, who said they are willing to forgive in exchange for blood money, the likelihood of this woman not being executed is very high. Thank you for staying with us until the end of the video. Please, if you haven't yet, subscribe to the channel. Please do so right now and support us and our activities with your likes and comments. Until we meet again, goodbye.